Hi, everybody. Hope everyone's doing well. I wanted to come on and do this video for quite a while, but I never got around to it. And after about, I think it was 7 or 8 people in the past 2 weeks that have asked me this question, this challenge that they are trying to overcome with their reading, I decided that this was the time. So I wanted to just discuss how sometimes when we're sitting in a reading, when we're linking, when we're blending with the spirit communicator, we can become overwhelmed by the feelings that they're impressing through us to their loved ones sitting in front of us. Okay, so a lot of you have asked me about how you can sort of step back from this intense feeling that you are feeling while in a reading, meaning you might feel an intense feeling of regret of something that happened in the spirit communicator's life here in the physical world, perhaps some regret. They're not just going to come through with love and happiness. If they will definitely address challenges or issues that they had in the physical world with their loved ones sitting in front of you, or just how they sort of dealt with their lives. They are people. They are still people. They just don't have a physical form. But no one's life is perfect. So a lot of times you will get some feelings, like I said, regret, sadness, perhaps taking responsibility for actions. But these feelings should really just move through you. They're coming from spirit, through your spirit, to the sitter. Okay, so if we get stuck on, oh my God, I'm feeling this intense sadness or regret, and it stops with you. It's not flowing through. These feelings that are coming through you are not about you. They are not your feelings, and actually these feelings aren't meant for you. They're meant for the recipient of this evidence, of the message. So you need to just try to see yourself as a channel, as a pure, clear channel for this evidence, for whether it be through feeling, sight, hearing, whatever, any one of your clairs, that you just allow this information to flow through you, and you don't stop, and you try not to feel it too much. Look, there's really no way around it. Most of us are sensitives. Most mediums, most healers that I've come across and have had the pleasure and honor of working with are quite sensitive. I think that's great. The spirit world does work through our sensitivity and through our vulnerabilities. But if you really get so emotional during a reading and really take in these feelings that are moving through you, I find that also can click on something in the conscious mind, and then you're thrown out of your link, you're thrown out of the blend. So you just have to give the information. I'm feeling this regret coming from your father in spirit who's communicating with me. These messages are for you. He is taking responsibility for his actions here in the physical world, how it affects you. He knows he was wrong, but just give it. Just give it and keep going. Give the information, go back and get more. Give the information, hear what else they have to say or show you or have you feel. If we really stop and feel all of these emotions that the spirit world is bringing through us, we are not being a full service, I find. Because it's sort of, I mean, we're sitting in a professional seat when we're the medium, when we are delivering these messages, this evidence from the spirit world, showing that they have not passed and they still exist and there is no death and all that stuff. But if we really drain ourselves and just like, oh my God, I'm feeling so sad and I know this feeling isn't mine, stick to that statement. I know this feeling isn't mine. Work through it. Work through it. As a sensitive, we also, I find a lot of us are very empathic. We're empaths. So we absorb a lot of energy from the living, for sure, from spaces. How many of you, I'm sure, I mean, obviously it's a recorded video. I'm not looking for answers, but how many of you, when you are with somebody who's very negative, who's depressed, who is really caught within their own hell of this spiraling down, and you leave them and you feel, oh my God, I'm really sad, I'm really depressed. These feelings have nothing to do with you. You've just allowed their energy to affect you. So you just have to keep saying, it's not about me. These aren't my feelings. And I find as soon as you shed light on a problem, the problem starts to dissipate. So you have to understand that as an empath, we do absorb a lot of feeling. We do absorb a lot of energy. But what I've learned as an empath is to try to observe more and not absorb. I try not to absorb people's energy, and I definitely try not to absorb the energy that can be in spaces, restaurants, other people's houses, hotels, all this stuff. I know there's a lot of energy around me at all times, but I can only be responsible for my own energy. I can only be responsible for protecting my energy. And when I say protection, I'm not talking about attachments or dark spirits or anything like that. I'm just talking about the residual energy that's left everywhere on this planet and also in spirit. So I just try to stay in my power. I really do feel the more we can stay in our power and really build our light, build our spirit, and just become a being of pure white light, we're stable and we're grounded. So if I'm sitting there and I'm delivering messages and the evidence of a spirit communicator of their life here in the physical world to their loved ones, the sitter, and I start to feel these emotions, even love, even an intense feeling of love coming from spirit through my spirit to the sitter can be overwhelming, but I just verbalize it. I'm feeling such a love coming from spirit to you. This energy of love is being channeled directly to you, and I just keep moving. I shake it off and I keep moving. I can't go down. I can't get into the emotions of what they're having me feel because these aren't my emotions. It's not about me. Mediumship is not about the medium in terms of the evidence and the messages delivered from the spirit communicator. It's not about us. We are purely a vessel and a channel for the spirit world to impress through us to their loved ones. Okay, so you have to remember that it's not about you. It's not about how you feel. It's about being able to verbalize how the spirit world is making you feel. Okay, it's not about you. I've said this to a few people that I work with, and I feel like they took it the wrong way, like I was being harsh. I'm not meaning to be harsh, but it's really not about you. Okay, it's about the spirit world. It's about being that conduit between the spirit world and the physical world. But in terms of my emotions and my thoughts or my opinions, it really doesn't matter. Okay, so it's just an important thing. And I really do feel that people who are getting sort of bogged down in these emotions that are working through them, the more you can just, sit in your power and build your light, the less this will affect you. And to keep in mind that you are purely a conduit between the two worlds. Okay, so the sitter isn't too concerned about how you feel. They want to know how the spirit world is making you feel for them, for sure. But you can always go back to the spirit world and tell them, okay, these feelings that you're moving through me, they're too intense. They're throwing me off. Can you please pull back a bit? Can you please not make these feelings so intense? And they will. I do really feel that the spirit world is responsible for our development, meaning they will help us with our clairs if we ask them to. They will help us develop if we ask them to. They will put the right teachers in front of you, the right practice groups in front of you, the right spirit wisdom in front of you, for sure. But we are responsible for our mediumship, meaning we are responsible for sitting on our power. We are responsible for learning how to quiet or calm the conscious mind. We are responsible for this mechanism. Okay, we are responsible for our physical body. We are responsible for how to speak to the back of the room, how to enunciate, how to become comfortable speaking in front of people and working in front of people. That's our part of this journey, I find. We're in partnership with the spirit world. We do everything with the spirit world together, hand in hand. They have no power here in the physical world without us, so they will help you work the way that is most comfortable for you. The other part of the question that I got in terms of feeling, where a lot of people were saying, oh my God, I'm feeling when the spirit communicator is impressing on me ways of passing, meaning I felt like I was having a heart attack. I felt like my head was going to explode, and they can't get beyond this physical discomfort. You just need to go back to the spirit world and say, hey, you can impress on me maybe with a light touch around my chest to sort of show that this spirit communicator passed of a heart issue, or a light feeling around my lungs, meaning there was a lung disease or an issue with breathing or anything. I mean, I asked the spirit world really just to lightly touch with energy where the passing might have, what the condition was. Like if it touches my head a bit on the right side, for me, we're all different. It shows like a stroke, or if I feel for momentarily a bit off in terms of my concentration or my thought process, I know that there was something with Alzheimer's or dementia or senility. Okay, but I have had experiences in the beginning of my development where I would really feel like I was having a heart attack. I would get sharp pains in my chest. My right arm would go numb and tingle. I couldn't catch my breath. I was very short of breath. And I really had to learn to go back to the spirit world. Sometimes I wasn't so polite, and I would definitely use some choice words, say, you need to back off and just let me know lightly and gently how you passed. You don't need to give me this intense feeling of pain somewhere in my physical body to show how you passed. You can do it lightly. But sometimes they're just not aware of their power. They're not aware of how their energy is affecting us. So if you ask them, and immediately, like when I said that to the spirit world, you need to back off, the feeling started to subside. And now it's very light. It's a very light sensation somewhere on my physicality, or they let me feel gently how the loved one in spirit passed. That I'm fine with. But you really have to define your boundaries for spirit. I don't think they're doing anything intentionally to hurt you or freak you out or make you uncomfortable. But a lot of times I don't know if they know their own power. So you have to say, hey, that's not going to work for me. We need to find another way. And they will. Okay. So I don't think there's anything wrong with being sensitive. I think we have to be. I really feel like the spirit world works through our sensitivity. But if you're so sensitive that you really get stuck on this feeling and you're feeling it so strongly that you can't stay in the flow, then you have to correct that. You have to go within and ask yourself, why am I taking on these emotions so much? You need to really say to yourself, it's not about me. They're just working through me. So you just give the information, you give the feeling you're getting, and then you ask them for more. Give it more. Give it more. I try to just keep going. Just keep going in a reading. Anything that's stopping you or pausing you because you're thinking about it too much or you're feeling something too intensely, you have to know that it needs to be corrected within your development and within your ability, okay? And it's all possible. Everything takes time. Please give the spirit world and yourself the gift of your patience and your time to develop, and it will all work out in the end, okay? So I hope that explains a little bit about trying to just shake off these emotions that you're feeling and just be the channel. Don't get so stuck down in the weeds of a reading. Stay in the flow. Keep in the flow and everything will work out. Thank you so much and have a good day. Bye.